what are the effects of ozone layer depletion? We have already discussed that the depletion of ozone layer allows harmful ultraviolet B radiation to enter the earth. The penetration of this ultraviolet B radiation causes mutation. Sudden changes in the genetic material. Therefore, it can affect any form of life. This mutation can affect the plants in terms of flowering pattern. There may be a reduction in the number of flowers. This is one possibility, and there may be change in the flowering season. This is another possibility. So any plant, when exposed to ultraviolet radiation, undergoes mutation, DNA changes, therefore the pattern of flowering, the duration of flowering, the seasonal flowering pattern, anything can undergo changes. So when flowering changes, pattern of flowering changes, many other problems follow in the plants. In animals, several genetic disorders may appear. Particularly in human beings, exposure to ultraviolet radiation is known to cause skin cancer. So incidence of skin cancer increases. These are some of the possibilities of entry of ultraviolet B radiation into earth. Again, at the global level, there are serious efforts that are being taken to mitigate the effects. Again, because what is happening cannot be immediately stopped. at least its effects can be reduced. Once again, UN member nations have come together and signed an agreement in 1987. And this agreement is known as Montreal Protocol. The agreement was signed in a place called Montreal in Canada. Montreal Protocol. This protocol aims at reducing the amount of CFCs being released into the atmosphere. Again, as in the Kyoto Protocol, targets have been fixed for member nations. And many member nations have meticulously followed it, with the result there has been in the recent years considerable reduction in the release of CFCs into the atmosphere. In addition to this, use of cleaner technologies which do not employ CFCs. We are now seeing a new generation of washing machines, a new generation of refrigerators, air conditioners which do not contain CFCs. So use of cleaner technologies, reducing the release of CFCs, these are some of the attempts that are being tried under Montreal Protocol. By 2050, United Nations hopes to achieve considerable reduction in the amount of CFCs being released into the atmosphere. Now, these two global environmental issues, that is greenhouse effect and ozone layer depletion, these two global issues, along with the pollution and various other environmental problems, have been responsible for what is being conceived as climate change. All over the world, we are seeing a change in the pattern of climate. We are seeing a change in the rainfall pattern. We are seeing a change in the pattern of water cycle, temperature cycles, and all that, which are predicted as climate change. All nations are making a serious effort under the guidelines from United Nations to mitigate the possible changes in the climate.